start from the beginning.
Okay.
So for those who don't know, I originally trained as a medical doctor.
Yes.
And somewhere along the line, I guess before I finished medical school, I kind of knew I won't practice as a doctor. Yeah. So that's the story for another day.
Yes.
But then when I finished, I practiced for 2 years.
Okay.
And somewhere in between, I knew let's put it this way, I knew I had a calling to go into ministry.
Okay.
And I was concerned that, if I left medicine straight into ministry, I wouldn't be able to sustain myself.
Okay.
But I've always had a passion for art, design, graphics. I've always been a natural with that from school. So I then decided to, start a t-shirt making
Interesting.
company. This was in like 91, 92.
Wow, that's long ago.
Yes. So I left medicine to do that, and strangely, I started with one t-shirt. Making t-shirts and all of that, and it grew to quite a very successful company.
Left medicine to start making t-shirts.
Which most people thought I was insane.
In fact,
especially my dad, because he thought they spent so much money and made investments.
This is my doctor's son.
Yeah, and he wasn't proud of introducing me as a
t-shirt maker.
Yeah, but I actually, from when I started selling t-shirts, from the first month, I earned 10 times the income I earned as a doctor.
Wow. Well, I'm not going to finish this interview. We're coming on to another subject. And you knew that I was going to come to this. So we're going on now to talk about winning a career change as well. Because here you are, like we said at the beginning, a medical doctor.
Yes.
Can you imagine? Your parents sent you to medical school.
Yes.
You spent 7 years or more in medical school, dissecting, doing this, anatomy, this. And you have, parents are always happy to see you, to say, my son is a medical doctor, and you left all of that. You threw away that white coat.
I'm far from medicine. I only practice medicine in the pulpit.
So now, I need you to be able to help somebody out there who is struggling. Because the truth, especially people of our generation, they have gone to university to read courses that were not their dream, but their parents' dreams.
Yes.
Because you know how it was in those days, our parents either wanted you to be a lawyer, a doctor, or an engineer. So I have many people crying out there and saying, I've gone to the university to read a course that, my dad wanted me to read, my mom wanted me to read. Now, I've read it, and I just don't feel fulfilled. What do I do?
Okay, well, that's right up my street, because that's my story. I'm the last of 5 children, and my dad is an architect.
Yes.
And my elder sister is an architect.
Yes.
My brother just before me is an architect. I always wanted to be an architect.
Wow. Always wanted to be an architect.
Yes, from when I'd been designing and doing stuff from when I was like 4, 5 and all of that. I'd always wanted to be an architect. And then all of a sudden, when it was time to go to uni, my dad said, we have too many architects. We have a lawyer, we have this. Now, you go and do medicine.
Wow.
So, and his best friend was a medical doctor, said, you go and do medicine.
How did you feel at that time?
I was not happy. I was like, who tells somebody that this is what you should go and do when it's clear that this is my passion?
This is your passion.
Like I said, I'm great at art. I'm a natural artist, and was brilliant at technical drawing in school. So not only did I have the passion, I also had the skill, and the flair for it. So he literally filled my form for me. And, so through medical school, I did it for my dad. I enjoyed the earlier parts of medical school, the knowledge part. When we got to the clinical part, I'm like, I was in the hospital. Is this really what I want to do? I mean, I love people, so I'll spend more time actually talking to the patients and hanging with them than actually, as in, I mean, but so somewhere through medical school, I knew wasn't what I wasn't going to do. So when I became a Christian, a born-again Christian in my penultimate year, and told my dad, the first thing he said is that, are you doing this to me because you are not happy?
Wow.
That's what, because he didn't understand what born again was Anglican. So I said, no, I'm doing it because I want to become a Christian.
Yes.
And so, he feared. I think he saw the way I was going, preaching everywhere. And I said, look, you know what? He called me, said, can you just do me a favor? He said, just make sure you graduate. And when you graduate, you can do whatever you want to do. He says, because nobody's going to listen to a half-baked doctor.
Wow.
So just for my sake, graduate, finish. So anyway, I finished and all of that. And then I did my house job and all of that. But I had to look, what could I do? Because I've spent all this year. That's when I now went and started this t-shirts design company. But when of course, he wasn't happy.
Yes.
Even though he had said I could do what I mean, and then he said, "Isn't there any other thing you can do?" I said, "This is what I want."
Because of course, when he said to you that, okay, just finish and you can do what you want to do, he wasn't expecting you to go as low as start making t-shirts.
I mean, he would have thought maybe you go and do another course and do IT. He said no, so he brought his friend, professor on neurology. And he tried to convince me. I said, sir, no, this is what I'm going to do. This is what I want to do. And so for many years, my dad never called me pastor.
Wow.
He never called me. When he's introduced me, he doesn't say my son, the doctor.
So you were always his son, the doctor.
Yes, the son, the doctor. And he showed his displeasure. He didn't say, even when I was sent here to England as a missionary.
Yes.
When he said, go and you come back. When he doesn't work out,
back home.
Yes, that your room is here waiting for you. That's what his words.
Yes.
It's like
I think the parents at that time felt that those of you who were sent here,
yes,
at the time you came,
yes,
we're going to feel like you'll be coming back.
He was so sure about that.
Yes.
And he was like, look, you go, all those people that you are following. By the time you find out that this thing is not working, you will come back and you will come back to. And he had already said, look, you build a hospital, this, that, and he's getting old. He needs his son to. But I'm like, that I'm satisfied. At least I'm satisfied the main criteria.
Yes.
I mean, I could not spend the rest of my life in misery. Medicine is a noble profession. It's a brilliant thing if you are called to it.
Yes.
But I knew that no, this is not. Now, strangely, if I was going to come to a compromise and I stayed in medicine, I knew I could not do clinical medicine. Clinical medicine is when you sit with patients and things. I was going to do something called public health. So with the pandemic, I would probably have been at the heart of that, doing what you call epidemiology. Because I looked at my skill set, my giftings. It's about people. It's about the broad view of things.
Yes.
Yeah. Not so much, handling one case at a time. So I thought, should I do this? But then I thought to myself, I won't be true to myself.
Wow.
I want to, and then I had a calling as a pastor. So I had to do something that would kind of like free me up. And so I said, well, I've always wanted to do design. I can't be an architect. Okay, one way I can express myself is through t-shirts. So I did my own designs, did stuff, and and God blessed it.
Wow. You said something which caught me. You said you knew you couldn't live your life in misery.
Yes.
And you are from a privileged background. And you usually find people who are from privileged backgrounds actually living their lives in misery because they have refused to go for what they want.
Yes.
But here you were. You didn't. Yes, I mean, you had all these privileges, but you were certain. You were so sure to yourself. You were saying to yourself that no, I'm not going to live in misery. So you chose, to But there are people who today, because of their backgrounds, could not come to that same place you were in to say that I knew I couldn't live my life in misery, and they are living in misery.
I don't know, maybe it's just me. I just cannot afford. The way I look at life is, I only have one life to live.
One life to live.
Yes, one life, and it cannot be a miserable one. I cannot. I cannot spend the rest of my life in other people's shadows or their echo, or because I'm sure. And I told my dad, I said, Dad, I love you to bits, and I honor you, but you don't want me to be a miserable son, and blaming you the rest of my life. You don't want me to be miserable. I'll be miserable to you. I'll be miserable to my wife. Miserable to my kids. So let me go and fulfill, God's purpose for my life. So I said this to him because then I started the business and I was going to be a pastor. The t-shirt thing upset him, annoyed him. Being a pastor was even worse. Because what is this? His own idea is how are you going to survive? And I said, well, this is what God has called me to do. And like I said, when I was leaving, he said, I said, Dad, right now you wouldn't understand it, but I promise you, I will make you proud. And so the key, what I would say is that, people will always have those contentions, parents and stuff. If you know it is God, God created you, He will back you. He will back you. And when you go into it by the grace of God, by the time you become a success, my dad was the one that called me 7 years later, thereabout. He came to England. This was September 11th. He was coming from the US. I stopped in England because of the whole September 11th thing. Spent a few days in my house. I just written my first book and called Discover Your Hidden Treasures. He was reading the book. He couldn't sleep at night. Woke up in the morning, came to my room and said, "You wrote this book?" I said, "Yes." He said he was crying.
Wow.
Yeah, I said,
wow.
Why? He said, "You wrote this book?" I said,
wow.
"Yes." He said, "You wrote." He said things I've never ever discovered in my whole lifetime.
Wow.
I said, "My son is teaching me." And anyway, long story short, from then he now started calling me his pastor. Incredible. So, I said that to say, there's sometimes, that's why I say you have to hear God. Because the Bible says, let God be true and all men be, in the sense that, yes, my dad gave birth to me, but I'd come to a place where I had to be a man of not my own, but a man that, will give accounts to God.
We give accounts to God.
Yes, because, at the end of the day, we are here for a purpose.
Yes.
And our parents were called to nurture and cultivate us to the place of accountability.
Nurture and cultivate us to the place of accountability.
And then, but many parents groom their children in their own shadow, in their own image, which is, I wanted to be a doctor. I didn't make it. So this one will be a doctor. And the Bible says, train a child in the way he should go. And when he's grown, he will not depart from it. So people think, when they say in the way he should go, it's the way we want that child to grow that we train the child. This one will be a lawyer. This one will take care of my legal. This one will take care of my accounting. This one will take care of my medical, whatever.
Yes.
But that way he should go is the way God has programmed that child to go. So if you ask Joseph and Mary, what do you want? They'll say, you should take over the carpenter's business. Succession planning. God had a different plan. From the age of 12, the boy had already said, he says, I must be about my father's business. So the way he should go is, let's nurture him in this thing. Let him become this person God has called him to be. But we as parents are usually, most times, very controlling because and the worst thing is that our children will be miserable. But the children also have to come to a place where, like I said, you will give account. You will give account. Yeah. And so I would say for anybody who's out there and they're in the place of country, I'm already doing medicine. I'm like, you want to spend the next 10 years in that same place of misery when there's a dream or something in your heart that you know that each time you are doing this thing, you are dreaming of that thing.
Yes.
Yeah. So don't waste 10 years. Why don't you go out there and do that thing and come to a place of fulfillment?
So, okay, Pastor Sola said, go for your dreams. And luckily, you can go back to your parents, explain your dreams to your parents, and when you become a success, they will surely align with you. There's no one who doesn't like to be associated with success, especially when they're your parents.
Yeah, very much so.
That's my son, my pastor.
Yeah, and they have a right to.
Yes.
They raised you up, so they are part of your success story.
Yes, that's true. Okay, Pastor, thank you for that. But for somebody who maybe, let me give a perfect example. Somebody who is daddy's girl or was daddy's girl.
Yes.
She's gone to school. She's gone to uni, she's read the course that daddy wanted her to read, and she's not fulfilled. She's practicing, she's not happy doing it. But daddy is no longer around for her to go explain to. And she feels trapped. Like, this was what he wanted. Will I not be going against his legacy if I leave?
That's actually easier. In my own opinion, that's it.
Yes.
That is no longer there.
That is no longer there.
That is no longer there to be offended. Daddy, we are hoping is in God's presence now, so can understand. God will also be showing daddy from there that that's not her purpose. And she's actually miserable. Yeah. So you see, that's what I'm saying. We live in traps, most people, in other people's expectations. What will people say?
We live in traps.
Yes.
Wow.
Yeah. A lot of people are living their lives either copying somebody else or trying to please somebody else. When the ultimate is that, everybody has a purpose that God has called them to. And the person that we are first accountable is to the God who sent us here. Everybody else, our parents are custodians. What they will give account of is that they raised us well to the place of accountability. For us, we will now give account of that, our race.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow.
Now, can you imagine me remaining a doctor? Meanwhile, that there was a Trinity Chapel on the inside of me.
Yes.
And then there was a Liberty Church on the inside of me. And the same, when I was leaving, Trinity Chapel, the same thing God told me. He said that, you know what? You will give account of the things that you did not do. I always thought, that was one of the things. I heard a message, somebody said, you know what? You will not.
Accountability is not just giving account of what you have done.
Yes.
You also give account of what you have not done. Oh my God, yes. That is really profound.
Because if you look at the book of Joshua, I think it's in Joshua that God said to Joshua, Joshua, you have advanced in age. You are old and advanced in age. But it says, but there remaineth much land for you to possess. So God didn't speak about it. He said, you have possessed some land, but there is a lot more land for you to possess. So you are feeling good about yourself that, you've taken 2 out of 3 trials. But he said, hey, there's 10 more. And if you know those exams, there are some exams that, and that's the kind of exams we did in medical school. You have 100 questions. It's not just if you get the question right, they mark you. If you get it wrong, they will subtract. Yes. So you could have immediately.
So it's better for you not
to answer. If you don't know, don't answer.
No.
Yes. So now the point is, there are also some exams that if you don't even, they will even subtract. So you have to answer all.
Wow.
So I mean, this is where I look at it. That when you are standing in heaven, I actually heard. Like I said, one person made a statement. The preacher was, and he said, you would not just give account of what you've done, you will give account of what you did not do. When God shows you the screen, this is what you should have done. Now, can you imagine God showing me, when I was a medical doctor, I didn't leave medicine. Say, see Trinity Chapel. See this, and see all these people that you should have touched. Or God, I'm feeling good with myself. Oh, we started the Trinity Chapel, planted 10 churches, and they said, okay, well done, but you see Liberty Church.
Definitely the bigger place.
Yes. Yeah. See Breakthrough Night, see this, see that, and I know there's even still much more.
There's so much
there's
more.
There's definitely much more. Much more. And we will give account for what we did not do. Yeah, we definitely did.
Wow.
Yeah.
So if you're out there, PSFA has said it, we're going to give account for what we did not do. So it's better you take the bull by the horn now and move to the place of your dreams. Because you cannot live the dream of somebody else and live in misery.
Yeah.
Wow. Yes, in fact, I don't even know.
Well, you got me going.
Oh, wow. I'm thinking to myself, okay, now all those projects that I have kept in the cooler, this is time for me to move,
Yes.
You can always win.
Very much
over
so.
Switches, definitely. Whether it's career or it's a business line or something. Because, now it's so interesting because people are going to have to think of new things that they're going to do. Some are going to be, of course, afraid. Can I really do this? Is it going to work? And everything. So what you're saying is just go for it. So long as
go for it. So far, God has told you you can't fail. You shouldn't fail.
Wow.
Yeah. Wow. Believe in the God that believes in you.
Wow. Interesting. And I've heard you say, once you're successful, everybody wants to be associated with success.
Success has many fathers. Failure is an orphan.
So failure is an orphan. And you'll even see people who you are not their child claiming you.
That happens all the time. There was one time nobody wanted to touch me.
Yes.
Now everybody wants to be your father now.
That's right.
The truth of the matter is only those who were really there that are your But those who are part of your story.
Yes. So you've done so well, so well. And here you are, your sons. Wow, amazing voice. Oxford, Cambridge, any parent's dreams.
There's still a lot of work to go with them. but they are good boys. They are good
boys. Well done, sir. We just look up to you and like I said earlier in my introduction, you are a leader of leaders. You are just a leader of leaders, and I see you building leaders as well. And it takes one who is a great leader to actually build leaders, because everyone is thinking, oh, let me protect my space, but every time I come around you, I see you giving everyone a free hand, and well done, sir. Well done. So,
thank God.
So I think the next one we're going to do another time is there's a leader in all of us, because you keep saying that, right? There's a leader in all of us.
True. There is. Well, I look forward to that.
Okay.
As God gives us the grace.
Wow, it's been an amazing time with you, Pastor Sola. Oh, I could go on and on and on and on. But God bless you immensely, sir. That we finally did this, and it's been wow. And I know that, after today or whenever they listen, somebody is going to be so inspired. There are many people that I say to myself, they should know him. So, so this is all part of getting to know Pastor Sola. Just hearing him inspire you, speak to you, it's like him being there with you and telling you that you can do it. Go for your dreams. Make this career move. Make this business line change. Make the change that you need to do. There's always success. There's light at the end of the tunnel, like they always say. So in this episode of Winning in Career Switch or Business Line Switch, what would be your last word? Something you want to leave with our viewers that they would always remember if that thought comes to them.
Okay. And again, my underlying theme is hear God. So you're making a career change. Don't change your career because you see somebody else driving a nice car and you think that's where the money is, or this is a new trend and all of that. Hear God. Once you hear God, obey, and you will not fail. And don't be afraid. Again, I said something, I learned this many years ago, 30 years ago. Believe in the God that believes in you.
Believe in the God that believes in you.
And,
wow.
And go. If God said it, it will be good. If God said it, it will be good. Amen. It may be tough, but it definitely will be good. You cannot go with God and fail. Amen. You can't. It's not possible. Amen. So go for it once God says it.
Amen.
Yeah.
You know, that is the takeout for me. Believe in the God that believes in you. And certainly you're on the path to becoming an overcomer and a winner. Once again, Pastor Sola, we thank you so very much for honoring us and for doing this with us.
My privilege, and I thoroughly enjoyed it.
Thank you so much. Give our love to Pastor Baines
I
and
will
the boys.
I definitely will.
God bless you,
Thanks
sir.
so
God bless
much.
you,
God
sir.
bless you.
God bless you.
Thanks.
Until we come your way again on the Now Show. This is Apostle Show, your regular hostess, signing off with PSFA. God bless you.
God bless.